Okay, so I'm using a little stand, and during the summertime, I had COVID in July, and then all of August I was trying to recover and finish writing my dissertation study proposal. And I was working really, really hard on finishing writing. But I think the COVID really affected my cognition because I didn't get a great reception to my writing, and it was a lot more difficult to concentrate, to focus, also to sit up for that amount of time without getting all of the carpal tunnel in my hands and the arthritis in my hands activated. And anyway, it was an extremely frustrating time. But it also showed me that either COVID reactivated my long-standing depression, or it triggered the fibro, or whatever it did. But that's why I'm on a leave of absence now. It's because I obviously cannot function at my best, and certainly I'm not really functioning at my anywhere near functional up until about recently. Like, I am feeling better the last few weeks. Anyways, so while of course I'm looking at the red button, I'm also looking at the thing that I know is recording, like where the actual camera is. There's a little green dot. So if it's confusing, I really hope not. Anyway, what I did during that time was I had my summer studio set up in this garage where I'm speaking to you from now. And because in the summer I can use oil paints in the garage, and they're very stinky and volatile, so they really need like a lot of space and windows open. And in the winter I can't do it because it's not good for the paint to be too cold, and it's an unheated garage. So in the winter I set up a studio downstairs next to my love, who works from home, and I still haven't been able to use it because my love is a darkness dragon, and I am a little sunshine rat. So painting requires adequate light, and I don't have it downstairs. So I haven't been painting. All that to say, in the summer, while I was having my I was going to say psychological breakdown, but the breakdown was really because I was pushing myself too hard to outrun my disability. Yes, for years and years and years I was doing that, but also the icing on the cake was actually getting the bona fide COVID, even after having homeschooled the children for the first year and taken all the vaccines and done all the things. I still got the stupid COVID. All right. So in the summertime in my studio, because I was too weak to paint, I was just writing notes. These are my post-it notes. I love post-it notes because they help me a lot when I am in a time of suffering. Post-it notes are short. You can't put too much on them, and you can put the idea on the note and then leave it alone. I'm gonna cough. Excuse me. All right. So some of the things that I wrote on these post-it notes were actual sheer brilliance as I look through them. And I can see that I was really just trying to help myself the way I always have helped myself whenever my body has given up completely, and I fail to realize it until it's too late, or I have to complete something because I have a foot in the able-bodied world as well as in my disability. So, and having to complete something like a contract, a teaching contract, for instance, you know, it's been the story of my life. Or a PhD, perhaps. Blech. Okay, so some of these notes are, like I said, some of them were pure genius. Some of them was poetry, and a lot of them are organizing myself through the day. All right, through the day. So this one here says a day. Okay. And so number one, prep self. I'm still working on it, which means eat, dress, and walk. Okay. In the summer, I was able to walk in the garden, but it's too cold and icy now, and I can't. So I haven't been walking since December. Getting dressed every day, yes. Eating, like getting dressed in the morning, prepping myself, and eating, I haven't been doing. Okay, so it looks like I still have to work on that. And then number two, planning the details of the day, right? So that is my morning planning routine, which I've taken to doing these reports. And then the second block of time I have carved out is art or write. So that's either paint or write on my dissertation. I'm not writing on my dissertation, I'm on leave. And I haven't been arting either. I have used that block of time to push forward on some very important organizational things that needed to be done in the household. And it's nearly complete, that project, so I'm going to be able to art and write personally again in that block of time. Okay, and that brings us to noon, which is another little reminder to eat. Okay, so I have been eating by around noon, so that's good. And then after that, it's another art or write period, but in the other direction, the other order. And lately, because the morning period has been exhausting me so much, and I haven't even been approaching the art or write because I've been doing the other stuff, household stuff, the afternoon has just been resting. So, and then I have a period of rest. All right, so I was definitely more functional in the summer than I am now. And then in the end of the day, 3 to 5 hour, which is when all the kids come home from school and programs, and there's this big, everybody needs a snack, and there's an influx of activity and flurry of stuff. That's when I schedule my phone calls. Wanted to schedule appointments for there, but that's not a good time. And what else? Emails, any scheduling stuff for the next day. So it's a great plan for the day. I just have to be able to do it. And then I was like, okay, I can't really do that. So how about I go into detail about my prepping for the day routine? All right. So prep routine, wake up and drink coffee immediately. The two have to happen together. This is wonderful. My partner's helping me. She's making the coffee, bringing it to me, and making sure that as soon as I open eyes, I'm taking my stomach medicine. And as soon as I get the coffee, I'm taking my morning cup of coffee, which at least has some milk in it, which gives me a little bit of nutrition to start my day. And then after that, and it usually while I'm lying in bed and sipping my coffee, I'm working on my legs, and I'm either doing some dry brushing or I'm doing some visualization, breathing into it and relaxing and just like organizing the pain into its box. And then I go to the bathroom and I suffer in there. And then I have kid time, because before school they come and jump on the bed and like tell me stuff and do homework and worry about things. And we do chats and hair brushing. And then they go off to school and I get into the garage. So that's when you see me. And then I'm supposed to, after the garage, is go walk my dog, which I haven't been doing because he's tiny and he doesn't want to go out either. And then it's the getting dressed with a second cup of coffee, and then it's the bathroom again. So, you know, in this little first step prep self, there's a lot of different tasks I find. And yeah, so then I also have difficulty with something called demand avoidance. And this is even when I'm not having trouble with depression, anxiety, pain, and things like that. So demand avoidance is something I've had since I was an infant. I remember having it. I think, from the first time somebody asked me to do something I wasn't interested in doing. Probably grade 1, because my parents were very permissive. All right. And so I wrote this little gem. It's not a poem, but it's my thought about demand avoidance. Avoiding demand avoidance is a demand, but necessary. So there are a few moments when I actually feel relaxed. When mindfully in the moment, when I'm in creative flow, when I'm concentrated, when I'm focused. And I need things, my body, to let me do those things. So, yeah, I think I was too busy. It's another signal, because there are a few moments when I actually felt relaxed when I wrote this. And so even being creative is a kind of frenetic activity. Being focused, being concentrated, being mindful is not the same as actually freedom, being free. Okay, that's it. That was a super long one. See you in the morning.